Joining us now for a one-on-one interview. Dave's not here because it's too early and it's a Sunday. You may have seen him on American Ninja Warrior.
Once, twice, 3 times.
The lady. You may see him at your kid's elementary school teaching them how to be physically fit.
Yeah, I'm there in the good way.
It's a new friend of mine, I hope. Morgan. No, they call you Morgan the Moose or Morgan Moose?
Just Morgan Moose.
Morgan, right.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, just started off, just Moose, not the. It's started off a couple years ago, like 7, 8 years ago. One of my friends, she got stuck in Canada because she found a guy she wanted to spend extra time with. One of my army buddies. And
I want to get to that as well.
Right? Yeah, she just showed up one day when the Moose had a race. She was late for one of those obstacle course races. I was big on those in the time. And said, hey, I brought you a silly hat. I was like, oh, cool, let's take a look. It's a Moose hat. All right. Nice. Well, I wear silly hats when teaching.
Sure.
Because it's super interesting trying to get the attention, especially like 5, 6-year-olds. Put a silly hat on, though, they are staring at you.
Yep.
So I ended up running the race, a fun lap after the elite wave, and wear the hat. Because a lot of times, you know, the top racers will come in, they will race, take their check, and go home.
Sure.
And I like to hang out because the running for time, there's nothing fun about that. Your inner child is crying after the first half mile.
Yeah.
So I always stay and run a fun lap with people and hang out. And that's what I did, wearing a Moose hat. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're that nice guy. You helped my friend, my mom, my sister get through the course. So it just kind of stuck, and people just started calling me Moose.
Nice.
Yeah, I made it fun.
Well, before we get on to the American Ninja Warrior, I want to roll back a little bit. I'm assuming fitness obviously was a big part of your Army career, but did fitness for you start before you enlisted into the military?
It was always kind of hit or miss. Some days I would get into it. Other days I would really get into video games.
Sure.
You know, that's what you did when you're in your teens and 20s.
Yeah, you're about my age, so we had the Super Nintendo, the Mario Kart.
Yeah, back when video games were hard.
Yep. Back when you only had 4 buttons instead of 9.
Right. No save feature. That was it.
Yep.
You did it or you died.
Yep.
Looking at you, Battletoads.
Battletoads. There's a throwback. How about Base Wars? Remember that?
Oh
one?
my gosh.
For those of you who've never played Base Wars, think of an 8-bit baseball game, but you had floating robots. And so if you're a good enough pitcher, you could blow the head off the batter. You can damage them, but basically you had floating robots playing baseball.
And it was a lot more interesting than regular baseball. No one loses their head in regular baseball.
It would make those 12, 13-inning games a whole hell lot more interesting.
God. Yeah, when you're playing a game, and the perfect game is no one hits the ball.
Who are the diehards who keep the season scorebook? They not only have season tickets, but they show up and they write down every error, every hit. It's like, and at the end of the season, you got what, a stack of books?
That's what they do. I tease one of my buddies. He still has a baseball card. So I'm like,
Mhm.
you're 10, 11. You got portraits of your heroes. But I'm like, you're a grown man now with pictures of other men under your bed.
Yep.
None
of them are worth anything. These aren't the cards from the 50s. Once the 70s and 80s came, they produced so many of them.
Yeah.
That very few of them are actually worth anything.
Yeah, it's kind of like comic books. You used to collect them because you wanted to know how the story went.
Yep.
Now everyone just scans out to the internet. Having the physical copy doesn't really matter anymore.
Or you have to buy 2 of them, want them to keep pristine just in case.
In case.
Heaven forbid you crack that cover and get just the slightest little wrinkle.
Oh, damn. Worthless.
Yep.
Worthless.
Waste of $4. So, what age did you enlist?
Oh, goodness. I enlisted at age 17.
Really?
Right. Yeah. You know what? I had never actually thought about the military. And I was a grocery bagger at Publix.
Nice.
And, making my $3.85 an hour. And I saw the announcement of the starting of the Gulf War.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never really thought about the military before. I never really thought much about the country. But I always watched the news with my father when I got home. So, that day I got home or that evening, watched the news, and I saw the conscientious objectors who were like, I joined the service, but whoa, I didn't plan on doing any fighting.
Yeah, there was a war going on when I was here. This is not what I signed up for.
And for some reason, I just felt ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw that, and I was like, how?
Yeah.
And 3 days later, I was signed up in the little delayed entry program. The couple of days after I graduated high school, I was off to boot camp.
Where'd you go?
Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Town population 1,600. Training post was like 40 to 60,000.
Now, were you there processed during the summer or the winter time? Because there's a huge difference, I'm sure.
It was that awkward time where we started off at the end of October.
Nice.
So it was super hot. And it was super hot at first, but it was autumn. Autumn was coming. Mm-hmm. First time I'd ever seen autumn as a Floridian.
Yeah.
And then we hit just as winter started.
It's kind of hard to appreciate color of leaves changing when you're getting screamed at.
And it was funny because the drill sergeant's taking a really good shine to me. Mm-hmm. I say that in air quotes because my middle name is Sunstar. My parents really enjoyed the 60s and 70s.
Sure they did.
So they're going through old more Sunstar, where you at, boy? We're going to be friends today. and I owned it. I never had any... I never felt teased or anything. I was like, yeah, that's something. Yes, my parents were in fact hippies. No, I am not part of you. And I remember at one point I was just staring at the leaves, incredulous. And a drill sergeant yelling at me, "No, you never seen no damn leaves before." No, drill sergeant. He looked at me. He's like, "Fine, you got 2 minutes. Go do what you do." And I'm like, oh, through the leaves, rolling around.
Throwing leaf angels.
I was amazing. I was like, oh my God, this is what the rest of the world gets to see.
Yep, I grew up in Ohio and Kentucky, and so down here, well, before I moved to Florida, I lived in California. I lived in Long Beach for 3 years.
All right.
And then as I drove back across country, I was reminded, oh, yes, our country is green. It's not brown and dirty. And then as you drive through the Panhandle and you get lower and lower into the state of Florida, you're like, yep, there goes the green.
It does. It sneaks up on you. It's like, so that was boot camp, and then later on it's in San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston for the advanced schooling. And I spent a lot of time being stationed with the infantry in Fort Hood, Texas, where I made the boxing team. I was the token 135 pounder.
Nice.
I did pretty well though. I went 9-2 over like 8 months.
Solid like the rod in the El Camino. 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 She like to drink. She like to drug. She like to run in my El Camino. She like to drink. She like to drug. She like to Camino.
Test. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. That is what happens. Whoa. That is what happens when you move your equipment to set up a temporary studio. But anyhow, digitized live in Studio 1B in Cape Coral, Florida. It's the Waterman D Train Show. I am your befuddled My mic sounds like shit tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
I
Sorry
hear
about that.
I'm not even working.
You're still not working? There you are.
Am I
You're
there?
there.
I can't even
So
hear
for those of you hanging out with us, that was my interview I did with Morgan Moose Wright. You have seen him on American Ninja Warrior. You may have seen him locally in your kids' gymnasium. For those of you tuning in via the Facebook live stream, if you want to hear the rest of that interview, you need to download the podcast, the full audio version tomorrow, because that is a 102-minute interview I did with Morgan. We learned everything about his military enlistment to how he got involved with the American Ninja Warrior. And tune in for that. That is why my microphone is crackling today, because I had to interview Morgan at a distant location because we did it early in the morning when my birds were awake and screaming. And so it was not an option to interview him here in the studio. And so basically I had to take the microphones out, the mixing boards out, and all this crap.
Yeah.
But much like it is on the Waterman and D-Train show, there's always some sort of audible issue, but we're getting it fixed up.
Always a little obstacle, right, buddy?
But I hope you all enjoyed just a little snippet of that interview. It's a great interview. We go through a lot of things about the process of the American Ninja Warrior and all fun things of that nature. But here he is, Dave the Waterman.
Hey, all right, man. Good deal. You sure my mic's on, bro?
Yeah, you're on. I can hear you fine, bro.
I can't even hear myself, man.
You can't hear yourself now?
I'm serious. Let me see. There, like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's hot,
Well,
man.
hold on, turn your headphones up. How's that?
There we go.
There we go.
That's what it is. Beautiful, man. Hey, all right, everybody. How's everybody doing, man? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing damn good. Doing damn good. I feel good, man, now that I was able to kind of let loose yesterday.
You look good. You got a Quicksilver button up on. That's a rarity for you. Usually
Yeah.
come in here with some half-ass torn up t-shirt.
Yeah, I know, man. You know, and a lot of my clothes got destroyed a while back, man. So
Is this during the big move of 2018?
yeah, they're in the big haul. You know, a lot of stuff got destroyed, and of course, you know, working in the air conditioning business, I took a lot of my stuff before I started really wearing work shirts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you wear your regular clothes to work, man, and I just started destroying stuff, man, fast. You know, real fast. It's amazing how fast you go through a pair of shoes.
That brings up a good topic. Okay.
Yeah.
Shoes, hats, and jeans, right?
Absolutely, man.
So you look at your hat,
Absolutely.
right? It's sweat stained. It's falling apart. The bottom of your jeans are worn out. The knees blow out. The legs dry rot. Your shirt gets...
Yeah.
Now, with the exception of putting your clothes in the laundry, everywhere your clothes go, you go, right?
Absolutely.
They are your
Absolutely.
shield from the environment.
Yeah, you're sitting on stuff. You're messing with stuff all day.
And so maybe you get 4 or 5 years out of a t-shirt, a couple years out of jeans. That kind of makes you realize how resilient the human body is. Because
Oh,
once
yeah.
again, you're the one putting, with the exception of the washing machine, you're the one putting your clothes through the crap that's causing them to fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
You're inside of them, inside the sun.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so when you think about it like that, you realize how resilient the human body is, because once again, here we are, been around for 40 years. Do you have a t-shirt that's 40 years old?
No.
I mean, I got some uniforms that are 70 years old, but they weren't worn daily for 7
I might have
years.
1 or 2 t-shirts, bro, that I've had for a few years that I've kind of tried to keep nice. I've got some anniversary K-Rock shirts I got in like a tub.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, those are just anniversary shirts, man.
The oldest shirts I had all original ICP t-shirts from back in the day.
Oh, there you
The
go.
6 Jerkers cards. Grown up in Columbus, I'm poor, young. I was an OG juggler back in the day.
Yeah,
I'll admit it.
Into it, huh?
But about 6-7 years ago, how I started to invest in all my World War II stuff is I sold all of my original ICP stuff,
Wow.
except for the CDs online. I mean, I had comic books, I had the original
Did you
T-shirts.
You were really into it then, huh?
I was
You
the
must-
KISS equivalent. I mean, I was a young, angry, youth,
What do
poor.
they call them? They're like gigolos?
Juggalos.
Juggalos. That's
But anyhow, I sold all that stuff. I made hundreds of dollars. I had the original,
really.
release street stuff. Like when the CD releases, they'd hand out the flyers.
Wow.
I had all the comic books. I had duplicates. So I had the comic books you opened. I had the ones that were still sealed.
Mm-hmm.
I sold all that crap on eBay. And so when I first got into this hobby, it didn't cost me anything. I was trading one passion for another.
Yeah.
Because as you get older, your mindset changes.
Of course.
And,
Your tastes change. And
exactly. And
you know.
so I had no use for that anymore. And so I sold it all and made a great amount of money off
Did
of
you
it.
really?
Yes.
And that's how you made your first investment into the military.
That's
gear?
how I got
The
my
clothing?
my Marine Corps uniform. That's how I got my first M1 helmet.
Well, it's like you say though, and what we're kind of talking about is that I believe is like is the military gear is resilient more resilient, I would imagine, to me, durable than like my regular cotton shirts, like this shirt here. And,
Modern day stuff, yes.
you know what I'm saying?
The stuff that they had back then, no.
Really?
Not to get too much into the World War II stuff, but
I would think.
for example, the Harden F Up picture that we've talked about quite a bit, that's the photo of them landing on D-Day.
Yeah, yeah.
Our boys landed in their Sunday best. Now think about that for a second.
Get out of here.
Back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, everybody's daily wear was wool trousers, a button-up shirt,
Right.
whether cotton or wool,
Right.
and a fedora,
Yeah.
and a pair of low-cut boots.
True.
That's
True
what they
that.
landed in. When they landed on D-Day, they had a pair of wool trousers on, just like you'd wear to church. They have a wool button-up shirt, just like you'd wear to church. The only difference is they had that web belt that you see back there on Captain America.
All right, gotcha.
They had the M1 helmet,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
they put canvas leggings around their feet to keep their boots from getting sucked off in the sand. And you either have a Thompson or your rifle and a backpack. So back then they didn't have tactical gear. They were literally fighting a war in the same thing that you, if you're back home, would wear to church or wear to work if you're a salesman.
That's wild, man.
They didn't have tactical.
And they
Closest thing
landed-
to tactical gear,
At Normandy, they landed like that. That's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
and all through the war, closest thing they had, the closest first uniform they had to tactical gear, once again, you can't really see, Captain America's wearing my 82nd Airborne trousers.
Yeah.
And those are the second release.
Gotcha.
You can kind of see a strap hanging down there.
Yeah, I see it.
The purpose of those straps, they were temporarily. After we did the first airborne invasion in North Africa, we realized when the guys jumped out of the planes,
Yeah.
the cargo pockets would get pulled open from the wind.
Yeah, there.
And so they would sew web straps, and when they would wrap them around their leg, and they would tie their pockets closed.
Oh, okay.
Once they
Yeah,
landed,
makes
they'd get
sense.
out their knife, they'd
Yeah,
cut them off, and
them
go
off.
about their day. But the closest thing they actually had to a tactical uniform at the time was the uniform designed for the guys jumping out of the airplanes. And they weren't anything special. They were just thick cotton with reinforced pockets, reinforced elbows, and a zipper and two snaps at the top to keep the wind out. And the helmet had, here, tell you what, grab the helmet right there.
That one
Sorry,
right there?
I know this isn't the What's the Scuttlebutt podcast,
No, but it's just interesting stuff, man.
but underneath the camera here, try not to hit the tripod,
No.
I have an airborne helmet. Actually, grab both those helmets. We'll do a little education right here. Grab that one and then grab one below it. Yep, that's it. Grab the other one. Sorry for those in the audio format. You can check out the video. So this is your standard M1 helmet, right?
Gotcha.
And there's your chin straps.
Gotcha.
You're not going to do much with that. Just chin strap. You're not going to jump on an airplane with that. If you do, your helmet's going to fly off.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what they did on the airborne helmets, they would put the actual football style chin strap with the
Yeah.
cup. And so it would go underneath your chin so that when you jumped out of the airplane, your helmet didn't fly off because you had this football style chin strap. I don't know if people
Check
at home
that
can see
out.
that. But that was the only real difference between the airborne helmet and the infantry helmet. And each one of these weighed, I think, 4.5 pounds. But so, yes, modern day, and even today, the only real difference between the shorts you're wearing now and the ACUs is they do cross-hatch patterns on them so that if they rip, the tear only goes as far until the next line of sewing. They basically stitch lines
Okay.
to help slow down.
The wear process, I would imagine.
And now people believe that the military didn't use zippers because they were too loud. That wasn't the
I've
case.
never even heard that one before.
A
That's
lot of
new
people
one.
think that,
That's a new one for me.
especially back in World War II, and even today, the ACUs, they have button flies. And the reason is a zipper is a single point of failure. Your zipper breaks, your
Yeah,
fly's open,
Absolutely.
your shirt's open. Well, if you have 5 or 6 buttons, you can lose 1 or 2 buttons and still be able to button that article of clothing because you have a multi-point point of
And
failure
that was
system.
so in that spare button, man. Yeah, right. I got one thing on this shirt somewhere.
So as some of you all saw, I want to
Oh,
get to
yeah.
this. We have a logo. Scroll up, you can see it at the top of our page. This logo has caused me some headache.
How's it really? What did it do, man?
People don't like the fact that the
What?
word show is placed in between Waterman and D-Train.
Why?
They think it looks like it's the Waterman and Show D-Train.
Well, yeah, I could see where they kind of would come up with that, but I mean, you would. I interpret the colors, so when I look
Exactly.
at it, I'm looking at colors. So I'm looking the Waterman and D-Train show.
Well,
That's
two
how it
things
comes out
here.
to me.
The Waterman is written kind of squirrely,
Yeah, that's
It's
because
spazzy.
I'm squirrely, dude.
and D-Train's nice, straight, and full of style.
Because that's what you are.
Okay, and Show is out of place because, as we all know, this clothes a bit of a clusterfuck.
Yeah, that's what we do, dude.
And so I intentionally made it like this. I like the logo. T-shirts are available if you want them.
Sweet.
Superfan Lorenzo Super fan
Lorenzo. Yeah, man.
First one to order him. It's his birthday tonight.
Oh, sweet. Happy
So
birthday,
happy
brother.
birthday to him. And our friend from last week, Rich, is supposed to call in tonight to try to get some more, give us an update on his catfish situation.
Man. Excellent.
But before we get to all that, and the reason, ladies and gentlemen, I have the Captain America today is because, once again, we opened the show with a brief minute of Morgan Moose from American Ninja Warrior. So I only thought it'd be kind of cool to go with the American.
Well, it's changing it up every time, you know.
Yeah, but I'm going to start running out of shit to put back there. We'll talk about that.
We'll figure out that one out, dude. Don't worry about it. So, bro, man, I just wanted to hit on one thing here, man, and that's you know, it's a big holiday weekend.
For some people.
For some people, exactly. And
for those of you lucky enough to have a salary job, and the rest of us had to work today.
Yeah, me and you know, we work almost every single day.
Shout out to all the people who work at gas stations and small convenience stores. Those stores who were open, who save your ass on Christmas when the wife forgot to get the rolls or needs another bag of flour to make the gravy.
Damn right, bro.
Mad props. And whenever that happens and I'm sent out to get the last minute items, I always try to give a thank you to those people because they don't want to be there.
No,
that's the day they hate their job the most.
Absolutely.
But how many times, regardless of what holiday it is, when most of the places are closed, are you super happy when you find that one place that's open and packed to the gills?
Always super stoked when you roll into a, you know, you're driving around on a holiday weekend, man, and everything's closing up, and you're like, damn, dude, you know, and you're looking for that one item, man, and you hit the store, and then boom, it's like, you know, it's like, oh.
Unlike today, where I needed to go out and renew the registration on the Volkswagen. But today's Saturday, and it's a holiday.
Oh, yeah, holiday weekend, yeah, they're closed.
Today's the 1st.
Oh,
much like with my Toyota, the tags expired yesterday, and due to some financial recalculations on trying to get my bills caught up, I was planning on getting them renewed this morning.
Yeah, but what are they open till like noon or something on
They
Saturdays?
weren't open at all today.
Of course not. It's a holiday weekend.
And they're not open on Monday.
Nope.
So now I got to go fit that in my schedule on Tuesday.
That sucks, man. You get there early enough, man. You should breeze right in. You go to the one over there by the courthouse, it's the courthouse and all that.
You used to could.
Oh, you got to go to a certain
There's
location?
one down here. No, you don't.
Oh.
Tax collector's office. There's one down here closer to me.
Oh, really?
Down by the movie theater.
Oh, good deal.
The nice thing is when you renew your tags, you don't have to wait in that bullshit line.
Oh,
they got a separate line. You go in there. I think I was in there for 5 minutes last time.
That's cool, dude.
So no, I used to go to the one down by your old house, but now I don't.
Oh, man. That's cool as hell, man. Yeah, you know, big shout out to all the people, man. Thank God that those people, you know, they don't, it's like you say, they don't want to be at work, man. They're pissed off. And there's other people, you know, people like me and you, man. We work pretty much well every day of the week. And when we do have time off, man, we cherish that, no doubt about it, man. So, yeah, definitely. I want to say a big thank you as well, man. And another big thank you I want to give out to, man, is the City of Cape Coral Police Department.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Good guys?
Yeah, they're good people, man. You know, getting pulled over.
Again?
Yeah, you know me, bro.
When this happened?
This was today.
Nice. In the work van?
Yeah.
Well, it's the only automobile you have.
Yeah. Let's, you know, I'm just trying to keep cool. But that's in the work van, man. And you know, they are doing their job, no doubt about it. They are out doing their job.
Well, it's the first of the month, and kind of like we went over on the Stan and Haney show yesterday.
Exactly. And
you got to get this good start to the
to the quota, right?
The month.
Get a good start to the quota going. Well, you know, I think I just, you know, what it was is it looked like kind of like careless driving, but it really wasn't. It's the same old conversation. We've had this conversation before. When you get big vehicles with a high wind resistance, look like kind of like careless driving.
Yep, sorry about that.
But it really wasn't.
Someone was saying your mic was low on the live stream. I tried to reply to him, and so Facebook kicked the audio back on. Sorry about that.
Okay, where was I? Yeah, the air resistance and the way that the wind hits that van, man, it's like a sail.
Sure.
So you're, you know, and there's so much. Like I said, we've covered this before on the show. There's so much play in that steering wheel.
Yeah.
You know, it's not tight at all. It's very, very lucid, man. Very, you know, and
a fleet van is essentially a giant sail.
Exactly, and it looked like I'm just kind of like I'm buzzed up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm driving around wasted or something. Not the case. And, you know, once the guy kind of walked up to me, he was just, you know, he looked and he knew. I think he kind of wanted to say something to me, man, but he was just being kind of cool. And, you know, he just gave me a verbal, man. I was like, straight up, you know, later, bro, and cruised off.
You didn't call a police officer bro, did you?
No, man. I said, no, I said, appreciate it, officer. You know, I'm not going to say that, man. There's certain times when I know where to not throw in certain words.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it does happen, you know, but there are most of the times, you know, I do straighten up, especially around law enforcement and
Fly right.
yeah, law enforcement. I straighten up when I have to go to the court systems, you know, I got to straighten up there, you know, but that's, you know, everybody should. You shouldn't go into a court looking like a bum.
No.
You know, I mean,
But a
definitely.
lot of people do.
There are a lot of people, man. I've seen a lot of people go down there that are just looks like they just rolled out of bed and they're in there in their like slippers, man.
Yeah, they don't care.
It's like, yeah, it's like, dude. But they might be in there just for a, you know, I don't know, let's say probation check or whatever it may be. You know, I mean,
You go to the court, you get paid to be on probation?
Well, no, I'm just saying, you know, like
gotcha.
down there, you know, down at the system down there.
Sure.
And there's all kinds of buildings down there, but you know, I'm just stoked that the police are cool with me, man. It's like I'm
Mhm.
starting to get on a good level with them again, and it's been a while because at my old place it was pure chaos over there.
Yep.
The whole street, you've seen it. I mean, it was just wide open, dude. My whole street was just a gigantic, raging party, man. All day, all night, every day of the week. Didn't matter what day of the week it was, man. There's always, you know, I think I've calculated it. There's probably like 7 to 10 houses that partied on that street, man. There's only probably about 18 houses on that street.
Sure.
So it's just like wide open all the time, man. And everybody's was always down at my house, you know, obviously in the driveway and bonfires going and all that sort of jazz, man. So, but tonight, as I'm coming over, still talking about the police here, as I'm coming over, this is kind of really what I was leading up to, is I noticed the intensity on Pine Island Road coming from Pine Island, you know, coming from Pine Island all the way here to your place.
Yep.
How much cops were out, man? I counted 7 Cape Coral police departments, and there was 4 in their undercover black SUVs, you know,
Yep.
like all darked out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just sitting in the middle of the road, man, sitting on the side of the road. And when I was coming down, I forget what other street I was coming down, but I'm coming down the one street to make a right or whatever on Pine Island. But there was a cop up there, already had his lights on, already had somebody pulled over.
Sure.
There was one down, you know, on.
What's a big drinking weekend?
Yeah, on Pine Island Road, had somebody pulled over. And I'm going, dude, not a good weekend to be a Uber it, man. You know, that's what I don't understand, man. It's like people go out and they get bomb ass
Because
hammered.
that $20 coming out of their PayPal, man, that could have been an extra 3 or 4 beers.
Well, I mean, dude, I get it. Trust, if there's anybody that gets it, man, I get it. You know, I mean, I've been there. You know, I've teetered on a very, I've teetered on a level of stupidity and done some really stupid
I've
stuff.
seen it.
And you've seen it. I mean, dude, you've dumped me out in my driveway, bro, and threw me out of the car, man.
Yep.
And I woke up, man, the next morning I'm laying in the street, dude. And I'm like, bro, it's like 5:30 in the morning, man, and the sun's coming up. I'm just like, I'm stretching. I'm like, dude, my bed's real stiff. And I open my eyes and I'm going, dude, I'm laying in the concrete. I'm in my driveway. This is not cool. I gotta get inside the house, you know?
Mm-hmm.
God only knows what the neighbors think when they're riding down the street.
Oh, they're used to it with you.
Well, yeah, well, they were pretty used to it, I think, by that point, you know. But anyways, no, a big shout out for Cape Coral and the police. They're doing a fine job out there. They're trying to keep everybody safe, man. And I'm pretty stoked about it, man.
No, I know it's a big 3-day weekend. Woo! But what's
Yeah.
the big effing deal? I was trying to simply deposit my check today, and I did a little live stream earlier on my D-Train page. I went to the bank. Line wrapped around the building twice for the ATM because this particular bank chain is slowly phasing out all their tellers.
Oh,
They've already closed the drive-through window down. Instead, they have 2 to 3 ATMs because you can deposit your check
go
directly.
inside. Who does that? What's the name?
I'm not giving them, but anyhow, you can deposit your check directly.
Gotcha.
And if you have $400 check, 350 of it's available instantaneously. The other 50 follows up the next day, so it's
Right.
not a big deal. But the line was wrapped around twice, and as I mentioned in past episodes, whenever I see that, I say, well, the hell with it. I'm not lazy. I'll go inside. I crack the door open, and there's a line for the teller going out the door. There's a line for the indoor ATM going out the door.
Dude,
And I'm like,
people are pulling cash out, man. They're partying.
But it's a
they're going out. I mean, this is it, man.
I know, but it looked like goddamn Hurricane Irma was coming. It's like, where are you going? You need cash.
Yeah, that you need that much. Yeah, because people.
I don't ever carry cash. I use debit for everything. I don't care if I'm going to buy a 99-cent item. I'm dumb enough to use my debit card. But I was now, granted, maybe a lot of people are depositing in their checks, but I deposit my checks a lot on Saturday. And the line's never that long.
Saturday's a night. You would think Saturday would probably be the safest day to go to the bank because people are kind of chilling, or maybe there's some people getting up and getting stuff done. I mean, quite a few actually, but then there's some people.
No, this was this morning. This is like 10 o'clock this morning. So what the hell?
What time?
It's like 10 o'clock this morning.
Wow.
Like I said, it was like it looked like the economy was about to crash and people were trying to take out their cash, or an EMP was coming, or a Hurricane Irma. It was like, dude, what you?
I don't know,
it was
bro.
Insane.
That is intense. That is intense, man. Because the banking industry, it's tough business, and like you say, it's all going automated. But who knows, man?
But here's something I want to talk about a few weeks
chips.
ago. You just reminded me because we were talking about being poor and the things you have to do to get cash.
Tell me about it.
And we've all been there. And like I was just talking about, I didn't get a chance to renew the tags on the Volkswagen in time. But so 2 weeks ago, I was at a gas station. No, we're not going to spend a whole nother episode talking about what we see in cars, but
no. So
this guy was in there, short little Guido, right? He had on the hat, he had on the wife beater, the horn.
Yeah.
And he was in there with his mom, and she's all talking Italian. And this was 2 weeks ago when it had been raining for like 4 or 5 days straight.
Yeah.
And homeboy was pissed. He's like, man, if it don't stop raining, I'm just going to go back to the Bronx, man. And
God.
Pack your shit and go.
Yeah, get out of here, bro.
But here's what reminded me. So he goes up to the counter, he pays for whatever in cash, and the teller gives him like maybe 65 cents back.
Right.
He walks directly to the trash can and throws it away.
He threw, what, 75 cents?
65 cents
65
away.
cents.
And I look at her and I was like, that's a nice problem to have.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm so distracted by this, I forget to pay for my gas.
Oh.
And so I go out and he leaves. Now, we all know that the cost of living in New York is through the roof.
Oh, yeah, man.
I've had friends come down here from Jersey on vacation. We go to the bars and they buy all our drinks because they're so cheap down here because they're used to paying $12 for a damn beer.
Yeah, $12 for a pack of smokes.
But,
$12.
So I got to my car and realized I didn't pay for my gas, and he walks out, and I'm expecting him to kind of walk up to a high baller, big roller car. He walks up in like a 03 Civic.
Oh, bro, come on.
Which is a nice car, but once again, the guy's literally throwing away money.
Yeah.
Granted, it's changed, but go home, throw it in a bucket, and then go to the Coinstar every once in a while.
Bro.
And so I walked in, and I tell her, I said, sorry, I was so distracted by the Guido throwing away money, I forgot to get my. And she's like, I know, what's up with that? And she's like, he could at least put it in the. Leave a penny, take a penny, or give it to me.
Absolutely, man.
And she knew how much she gave him. I'm just kind of assuming.
Right about guessing, yeah.
But she's like, she literally, here's your change, and he just walked around and just threw it in the trash can. I was like, what the?
That's crazy, man. I don't
know.
have
where do you got to
like
be in your life where you just,
there's no way, man.
Who needs 75 cents?
Dude, I'd rack up
Who needs 15 cents? I put it in my pocket, go home, throw it in my milk jug or whatever, throw it in my console so that if I'm somewhere and I need an extra quarter to go along with the $1 because the vending machine soda is $1.25, walk out to my truck and grab a coin. But that just kind of blew me away to see somebody literally just throwing away money.
People do, man, all the time, all the time. You know where I find a lot of good change, I'll be honest with you, man, is the drive-thrus. You're going through a drive-through, man, and if you don't have that extra 20 cents, maybe 30 cents, and you're getting something, just open your car door and look on the ground right there.
You mean right next to the ketchup pack that's been ran over 16 times and the ketchup splattered up on the wall?
Yeah, that one there, right there, right there, man. Just, right there with the teller's at, man. When you go to hand her the cash, look right there, bro. Right there, man. There's always a couple bucks laying down on the ground right there, man. You can always go through and, make yourself a couple bucks right there real quick if you need to. If you need that extra couple dollars, man, get you through. Go just walk around to a few drive-thrus, man. You can make out probably $5. I think the most I ever came away with was probably about $7, man. Not bad. Not a bad take for just, walking around. A few minutes, that's all it takes. Pull up $7. Hey, man, you're good to go.
Yeah.
So what else shaking, man? What else you got going on?
Well, today, thanks to listener Jeff for the hookup, I had to replant my mailbox.
I saw that, man.
So I woke up Monday morning and I realized my mailbox was gone. Well, that's nice. I thought, well, maybe Timmy did something to it, but then I got my
oh, I didn't think about that.
I got my investigation goggles on, and I realized that the mailbox was to the left. meaning the person who hit it was coming from the opposite direction.
Right.
And so, as I've talked about on Stanton Haney, the first thing I did when I moved in, because I had it available to me due to the type of work I do, I had a old security camera system with it.
I like it.
So I got on the DVR, and of course DVRs, the time's never right because every time there's a damn storm they reset. And so those of you at home, if you haven't checked the DVR on your security system, I can guarantee you that the time is off, which makes it fun to find when something happens.
Yeah.
And so I spent like 2 hours looking, right?
Damn.
And luckily the mailbox is high enough in the camera view, it just made the frame. And so I see my neighbor coming down, and he pulls up in his driveway and stops. Then I see another car travel by, and then all of a sudden I see bouncing off the little mound, because across the street is a 6-foot deep hole that we call the Cape Coral Trench.
Yeah, that thing is ridiculous.
Because before I moved in, apparently some kids dug up a big hole because they wanted to use the dirt to make a bike ramp.
Is that what that is?
That's what it is, and so they left the hole there. Sorry, Rich, give me a call back. But anyhow, so he comes traveling down. Waterman and D-Train Show, what's up?
What's up, bro? Hello.
Hey, gentlemen, what's up?
Hey, hold tight, Rich. I want to finish telling my story, then we'll get to you. Hold tight. And so on the camera, I see him hit the mound of dirt that's in front of the Cape Coral Gulch. He flies, hits my mailbox, drives to the empty field through my neighbor's front yard, and right before plowing into the basketball hoop, he rears back onto the road, stops behind my other neighbor's driveway, hangs out for like 10 seconds, and leaves.
Then cruises out.
Now, obviously, people's mailboxes get ran over. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
The sketchy part was, as I fast forward, 15 minutes later, occupants of my home were leaving for work.
Right.
Which means this happened around 5:45, 5:50 in the morning. Around 6:15,
okay.
That's when the neighborhood kids start heading out to their bus stops. Now, 2 years ago, a law enforcement officer accidentally hit a kid on his bike not a mile from here because there are no street lights. There's like one on my street. So what concerns me more is my mailbox could have easily been somebody's 5th grader walking to the bus stop or walking, because there's a school not too far from here.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, I get it. You're probably leaving for work, fumbling with your phone. You drove off the road. Luckily for you, you didn't land in the Cape Coral Gulch, or you would have had AAA out here pulling your ass out. You plowed over my mailbox and damn near took out my neighbor's basketball hoop. But thank God my mailbox wasn't a small child.
Yeah.
Or your ass would be in prison.
Very true. We got to fill that hole out there too, by the way, man. We got to get that filled.
I think the property owner should fill it.
Well, yeah, whatever.
So last week, listener Rich hit us up on the live stream.
Yeah, man.
And was asking for advice on internet dating, and filled us into the fact that he has been talking to a young lady.
Beautiful.
For about 2 weeks via text in text format, but had yet to either video chat with her or do an audio chat with her.
Exactly.
And we were concerned that maybe this gentleman was getting catfished. And Rich was at work last weekend and wasn't able to call in, and so he's on the phone now.
Beautiful, man.
What's going on, sir?
How you doing, Rich?
Hey, how you doing, D-Train Waterman? What's up?
Welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Just replaced my mailbox today and just living the dream.
It's the weirdest thing. You know, I talked to her for 2 weeks. I mean, you know, you're talking back and forth, and she gives me her number to text her.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'm going to give you a call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I call. It rings about 5-6 times. Boom, goes to voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a minute after that, I get a text saying, hey, I'm at the movies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I said, give me a call after the movies.
Sure.
Well, nothing. So then she talked to me the next day, texted me, and I said, hey, how's it going, blah, blah, blah. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to give her a call. So I called again, same thing. 5-6 times, boom, answer machine comes on. I'm like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah.
I was like, you know, you're 40, you're 41, I'm 51. You know, we're not kidding anymore.
Nope.
You know, I like the old-fashioned days when you could actually have to talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
Yep. Slow dating is what the kids are calling it now.
Are they?
Yeah,
we'll get into that in a few minutes. But go ahead.
I started thinking about what you guys were saying, and I'm thinking, well, is it really who I'm supposed to be talking to? Am I not supposed to talk to her? Or is she not who she says she is?
Well, does
you know, this is going in my mind, you know?
Absolutely. did you get anything resolved? Have you talked to her? I mean, has she texted you back or anything?
Well, I texted her back. It's all just been text. And it's just short, hey, good morning, how are things going? Okay, have a nice day, boom, goodbye.
Now,
And then if I say something after that, it's like I don't hear anything.
now the online profile, are there a lot of photos on there or just one or two?
No, she's got about 4 or 5.
Okay.
So she got a couple of pics up, and how did you guys came across on one of those popular dating websites, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I was on Plenty of Fish.
Okay, all right,
And,
yeah,
I was cruising the waters, so to speak.
yeah, absolutely.
Casting the net.
Yep, throwing the net, throwing the lure out
Casting
there.
the net, and I guess I had the wrong date out, I don't know.
Well, I just thought there is another possibility.
What do you think, man?
Okay.
This is
Maybe it's not that you're getting catfished. Maybe the young lady isn't exactly single. And so when she can sneak off to text you from another room or
Well,
pretend like she's
now,
on
she
Facebook
told
when
me
another
she
person's in the
was
room.
She was single for 6 months. Now, I don't know if she was married before that 6 months or she had a boyfriend in that 6 months. There's the part I don't know.
Maybe she is officially on break, but not in a single occupancy home, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Maybe it's easy for
Right,
her to
here's
communicate.
something I
or
just
she's-
say to
maybe she's in a heavy dating mode right now. She's constantly going out with people. I mean,
I guess what we're getting at, though, is the whole thing that's crazy is if you have someone's cell phone number and they don't want to talk to you audibly,
yeah,
there's got to be a reason for that, unless they've come out and said, hey, by the way, I'm mute, or I have I'm deaf.
You know what, Rich? I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm going to give you my straight up opinion on this whole thing. And in my opinion, it is, I think you're getting fished, man, because it's just odd to me that when a girl sees a guy, you know what I'm saying, and a guy sees a girl and they like each other, they typically want to get in mode pretty quick, or at least, maybe ride it out for a day or two.
Oh, we might have lost him.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
All right,
This
there you
is
are,
Hayden.
Rich.
Yeah, back again.
All right, so
I don't know if you just heard did you hear the last part I said?
No.
To her, now this could have made her take a step back. I said to her, I said, well, we've been texting. I think we have a good connection, and I think things could work out. Right after that, boom, nothing.
Yeah, you may have scared her off a
Nothing.
little bit. There is a possibility that she was just looking for a booty call
that is true.
and wanted to get a little side action because, well, I'll save this topic for after the phone call because I'll go off on it. But things are different now in 2018.
Highly
People
different,
are
man.
more accepting to things that we old people, just as a little example, could you imagine being a 19-year-old dude in a day where everything's accepted? I mean, when we were 19, the idea
no way.
of a threesome
right.
was simply a
Sure.
fantasy. But nowadays, when everybody's acceptable,
Yeah.
everything's accepting, you can't criticize, it's got to be 80, 90% now easier to pull a threesome with a young, accepting lady
yeah.
because you can't
Absolutely.
judge if she's a bisexual.
They're-
Everybody's down for everything.
They are so into
Oh,
that
yeah.
nowadays.
Where us guys, back in the 90s, it took a lot of effort just to get them to maybe take some clippers down blowing on the phone.
yeah, get the little trimming.
Now,
Yeah,
now that whole look's coming back. But
yeah,
anyhow,
it is. Yeah.
so here's the option. You said that your text early on weren't really too in depth. Did they ever get more in depth?
No. I mean, that's the. I guess if that's the hardest thing I said, but
Well, here's the good news. You have
I
nothing
don't
to
know.
lose.
It was just
You haven't really built a relationship, so you don't have anything to lose. So what you can text her is say, look, I dig you. I enjoy the conversation, even though we haven't gotten too crazy into it. If you're not looking for a relationship or, whatever. But that being said, I do want to, just because of the world we live in and just because of this happens all the time, just to calm my concerns and to authenticate this communication we have.
Absolutely.
I really feel the need that we need to be able to talk verbally occasionally. And if it blows it off and if she's not interested, at this point, it really doesn't matter because you guys really haven't established any huge relationship. You really don't have much to lose other than the possibility of something that you haven't established yet.
And she's not going to be the only. She's not the only one out there for you, Rich. There's no doubt about that.
No, but the thing is that, I mean, you give me your number. I mean, okay, I can text, so I should be able to call that number, shouldn't I?
Correct.
You know?
Unless, like I said, they're wanting to keep it on the DL.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
prying ears are nearby. And as right now, you're calling me. You're talking to me through my cell phone, but you do not have my cell phone number. I'm using the same app that Dave generates cell phone numbers with.
Yeah.
So since there are apps out there, she's no longer risking her privacy by giving you a number because all she has to do is close that app off, and then when you try to call her, and so there's a possibility that she didn't feel like she was, risking anything or becoming vulnerable by giving you a number because it may not be the actual number assigned to her SIM card on her phone.
Yeah,
that's very true.
And so what I would do, here's what you can do, Rich. Lay off communication for a few days and see if she reaches out to you. If she doesn't reach out to you, then she's moved on. If she does, then you can slowly get back into it and then maybe bring up what I just suggested about the possibility of a audible voice conversation.
Absolutely, man. And if not,
I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, you talk for 2 weeks. I mean, after a while, you get tired of texting.
Sure.
I mean, it's like, what the hell? Can I hear your voice a minute? I mean,
especially
at least it's only been 2 weeks, man. You haven't invested months into this, and then come to, and something really bad ends up happening, man.
And especially for old fucks like us, because we have large hands. And cell phones are designed for women and 13-year-old boys to text on. And voice to text is horrible, especially when you have a speech impediment like I do. Some of the shit Google thinks I'm saying, I basically have to stop and go back and re-edit it, which makes using voice to text pointless to begin with. And so texting as a grown-ass man with real hands is really cumbersome.
Yeah, I mean, she could be on 3 sentences before I get the first one out.
Yeah. So what I would do is I would back off just to see if she reaches back out to you. If you don't hear from her, then it is what it is. And if you do...
and I've even invited her out to where I DJ that. I said, come on out. You can hear me. I said, you can bring your friends, whoever you want to bring.
Sure.
I didn't mean you have to come alone or anything. So.
And so hopefully you're not just being straight up catfish. But either way, it sounds like it would behoove you. Remember that word, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to come up with a new vocabulary word for you today.
Oh, jeez.
But you have not used the word.
Nope, I haven't.
You haven't used any of your crutch words
today. Have I used it?
No, but it may behoove you to maybe start dropping some more lines off that troller of yours. You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
You cast it out once, and you brought in a questionable species.
Very questionable.
I would bait up a few more lines. Put some more gas in the tank.
Yep, go trolling, bro.
Go trolling for more.
Get out there.
Well, there is another option I do have out there.
Okay.
I said hello to this one girl, and I think within 20 minutes she had her name. She said, "Hey, Rich, how you doing? Give me a call." Boom.
Why didn't
put the number right out?
Why haven't you reached out to her?
I don't know. I'm thinking, could this be a scam or something? She's just putting her number out there.
No, man.
Well, once again, it could be.
Different.
It could be, but
that's the whole game we're playing nowadays with online dating, man. That's, in my opinion, that's the whole game of that.
And you're only going to lose what you offer up. So if you don't jump into it thinking, "Oh my God, here's my chance," just feel it out.
Yeah, I mean, you're not sending them no money. You're not, you're not doing anything crazy like that. You're just, talking to them. Just be real, man.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that's all you can do, and you just and like D-Train said.
What's the waterman's line that he uses to pick up a girl?
Hey, baby, buy me a beer.
Hey, you want a drink?
Baby,
she's like, hey, yeah, I'd love to have a drink. I'm like, hook it up. And they're like, oh shit.
If she asks you if
No.
if she asks you if your place or mine, you better go to hers.
Oh, absolutely, man. Every time, man. Every time. No.
Well, let me ask you this,
No.
Rich.
And,
That's
Without
funny.
giving out a plug, what type of venue did you DJ
Yeah.
at? Is it? I mean, is it?
well, I DJ. I mean, I guess I can mention where I DJ. That's kind of.
Sure, why not?
Well, I play at Beef O'Brady's in Estero.
Okay.
I love the
I
grilled
run.
chicken
I
wraps, by
run
the way.
bingo and I DJ there on Wednesday night.
Now,
And tomorrow night, I'll be at Beef O'Brady's playing 70s and 80s music.
well, the problem and I love Beef O'Brady's and I love their grilled chicken wrap, but one thing I've noticed, every Beef O'Brady's, they're all semi-small because where they're located, which is usually at the end of a public building. But
Right.
the bar itself isn't really super huge. I mean, it's big for a physical bar, but every one
Right.
of them seems to have the same neighborhood bar flies.
Oh,
If you go in there on a Wednesday
Oh,
or
yeah.
Friday, it's the same 8 people saddled up, whether it's the female or the male, and they all know each other. Because what I was getting at is if you're DJing at a establishment that has a rotating stock, if you will, then why couldn't you pick up a young lady there? But
Yeah.
if you're at a Beef O'Brady's, then chances are saddle up in those bar stools every night are the same 6 or 7 people, and so that's probably not a viable option
Yeah.
there.
Not enough heavy
Well,
traffic.
also at the Alico Golf Center, but people are out there to hit golf balls.
Sure.
Oh,
I
yeah.
play the music, they listen to that and all that. It's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, that's a different crew.
What do you do as a hobby other than DJing?
Well, I play golf. I bowl.
Not a lot of single ladies on the golf course, though.
Can throw darts.
There you go. Well, not a lot of single ladies at the dartboards.
No. And you're down in a, you know what? And you're down in a good area down
Ping
there.
pong.
You know, that's a good area where you're at, Rich, down there. Do you live in the Estero area?
Yeah.
You do?
I live right, basically, almost down the street from the station.
I've noticed, and maybe it's just me, you know, but I have noticed within the past 2 years the amount of single women and quality of ladies down there
Yeah, but
going up.
those ladies are outside of Rich's wheelhouse only because of age, and the reason they have increased is because once you cross over 75 behind the station, they have built an inordinate amount of student housing.
Is that what it is?
Yes, well, if you go over Estero Parkway over the interstate,
Oh.
all that cornfield now is all.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even see Germain Arena anymore. It's all the woods are gone.
No,
It's all
really?
condos now.
Wow.
If you haven't driven down by Germain Arena, you will pass it by because it's all condos now.
Yeah.
All the way to where the 7-Eleven is at the end of Estero Parkway,
Yeah.
where we go to pick up crap.
Yep.
It's all condos now, and it's all student housing. So
Wow.
there is a huge influx, but all those chicks are 18 to 20 years
Yeah,
old.
you're right. I mean, I've just noticed more.
Yeah,
I've noticed
I
older
came
women
here
too,
in
though.
90. I came
lot.
here in 93. Nothing was here. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like,
Well, good luck to you,
Yeah,
Rich.
Rich.
Keep us posted. We're going to fill
Yeah,
out the
man.
number and take a few other calls and get back onto the show. But good luck to you, man.
Yeah,
all right,
brother.
sir.
And,
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah,
Keep
thanks
your head
for
up.
calling in, man.
Keep it real, Waterman.
All right, brother.
that's the only way he keeps it.
Yeah, damn right. That's the only way he keeps it. Oh man, I hope Rich, finds success, man. I hope he finds what he's looking for, man.
Yeah.
It's a tough market. It's tough to be out there,
Yes, sir.
and I would think being a DJ,
Yeah, but once again,
but
he's
I know,
DJing in neighborhood bars.
I know exactly what I was about to say. I know he's DJing in a small establishment.
And like I said, because I noticed that a few years ago, because back when my diet was just complete restaurant food, at least once a week, get a grilled chicken wrap.
Yeah.
And I would go in there, even off of football season. It's like you can't really sit down at the tables because they're seating people to eat in-house.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no place to sit at the bar because it's the same 12 cats
Yeah.
and chicks
They're there every day.
every day.
Every
Just-
day.
And they all know
I
each
know.
other. They have their
Mhm.
own little club going.
Yeah.
But it's just like
That's
you see
funny,
those same
man.
people.
That's funny, man. Let's see here. That's wild.
Can you believe those dicks? There's 3 assholes who are running that New Mexico compound to train young kids to shoot up
I
schools.
heard about this.
Have all been released from prison.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Every one of them? What about the children that they were training, man? That they shipped them off, I hope.
Even the guy who buried his 3-year-old out there were all
Get
released.
out of here, man.
Apparently, and I was hoping to have somebody on tonight who was board certified in the state of New Mexico, but apparently they had to be released on a technicality Which one would argue
What
if they're
technicality? I'm sorry.
if one would argue that if you're a domestic terrorist running a compound, training kids to shoot up schools, any technicality that you would be able to get released upon would be thrown out the window. But apparently they have what's called the 10-day rule.
So like to lay charges on them, obviously.
The caseworker, once someone is arrested, and the whole purpose of this is to facilitate the booking and trial process of people arrested in the state of New Mexico. But the 10-day rule in New Mexico was not satisfied because obviously a crime of this scale, the amount of evidence to process, I mean, you got small children out there, you got a dead body.
They got to build a case, obviously.
Obviously, when you have children involved, you got to bring in children's services.
But if they got a body and all that, how could they not hold these people? I just don't. That's New Mexico. Who knows? I guess, huh?
It's crazy. I was hoping to have somebody on here to talk about it, but I never got around to it. But I'll just
what else has been going on?
I'll just give you the. I'll just give you the once my internet picks up here. I'll just give you the quick play-by-play of it via.
I saw the overhead pictures of this place. It looked like it was a pretty.
It looked like a tire dump. I mean,
yeah, there it is.
Yeah, the place is dump. 3 suspects tied to the New Mexico compound where allegedly Muslim extremists reportedly trained children to be school shooters were released from custody on Wednesday, hours after judge dismisses all of the charges against them. This newspaper claims. District Judge Emilio Chavez on Wednesday dismissed charges against dismissed charges of 3 of the 5 defendants. Defendant Dickhead 1, Defendant Dickhead 2, and Defendant Dickhead 3, because authorities had violated the state's 10-day rule. Child abuse charges against them were dropped because prosecutors missed the 10-day limit for the evidentiary hearing to establish probable cause. During a separate hearing Wednesday, Judge Jeff McElroy dismissed the same charges against the fellow defendants Dickhead 4 and 5. However, new charges against them on Friday in connection of the death of the missing 3-year-old boy and its remains. So the good news is 2 of these dickheads are back in under that. But here's my thing. First off, you're saying that in order to bring up charges against people who abuse children in your state, you have to have all your evidence brought together within 10 days?
There's no
These are
way.
effing children.
No doubt. There's no way.
And not only are these kids being abused, malnourished, or living in a goddamn tire pit, but they're being taught, ladies and gentlemen, they're being taught to kill your kids in your school. And this is what pisses me off the most. Every time there is a mass shooting in this country, everybody wants to point fingers, and 2 things happen. 1, they want to blame the gun manufacturers, and 2, we hear the word red flags. Where were the red flags? Why didn't anybody do anything about the red flags?
Yeah, right.
Well, apparently in the state of New Mexico, no matter how big the effing red flag is, if you don't hoist that flag down off the effing pole within 10 days, it doesn't matter. And so the media and the tryhards on the internet, anytime there's a mass shooting, they want to have marches, but not against the shooters, not against the family of the shooters, not against the legalities and the, like the last few of these shooters, they had been arrested before. Some of them had been in mental institutions, and they clearly fell through the cracks, not counting the dickhead at the pizza parlor during his John Madden meltdown.
Yeah, huh?
Don't get me started on that day. By the way, that guy is from a state that has super, super, super high restrict gun laws, and yet he still had a concealed carry permit and still brought his gun down here.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I've been to that place, though.
But everybody wants to always go after the gun manufacturers. By the way, these gun manufacturers, they manufacture these rifles and firearms for 2 reasons. 1, self-defense, and 2, sporting events, sport shooting, and going out to the gun range with your friends. Okay, not going out and murdering people. Okay, to sue Bushmaster and to sue Armorlight for manufacturing a tool that was used to kill innocent people would be like trying to sue Apple and Google for pedophiles using their phones to record, distribute, and upload child pornography to the fucking internet.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
absurd, man.
That is not what the rifle was designed for. It wasn't designed for mass shooting. It was designed for self-protection, and you can't say you're self-defense by going into a school and shooting up innocent people. These rifles were used or designed for self-defense, hunting, and recreational shooting, not killing innocent people. But here,
I just don't
we
understand.
have a terrorist compound in New Mexico. They're literally training kids with firearms to go out and kill your kids. And it's been 10 days.
Yeah, 10 days. We'll just,
They're treating us like this is a kid who got his arm burnt.
Yeah, we got a little bit of
by
evidence, but
a normal child abuse. This is by no means a normal child abuse case.
That-
And by the way, even if this was a normal child abuse case, throw your fucking 10-day rule out the window.
Exactly.
These are kids.
Exactly.
I don't care if it takes 15 or 20 days to bring up all the evidence, especially when you have a tire compound out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Okay,
I mean, yeah, look at that. Look at all.
it looks like a dump.
Yeah, it looks like a dump. There's so much trash on this property, ladies and gentlemen. These people, you got to look this story up. But there's so much trash on this property. Who knows what's buried underneath some of that
Okay,
stuff,
ladies and
man.
gentlemen, I know a lot of you watch The Walking Dead, and we've all
There
seen
you go.
the group that live in the dump. Now imagine if The Walking Dead had a very small budget. Instead of building the compound with trash and cars, they just use tires.
Yeah.
That's what this place looks
Yeah.
like. It literally has a perimeter built up of stacked tires about 8 to 10 feet tall, and then in the center of it is a pole barn. Now, just like the name implies, a pole barn, for those of you in Kentucky and Indiana and Pennsylvania, you know what they are. But for the rest of the world, a pole barn is simply a barn constructed of steel poles, at which point you skin it with something, whether it's corrugated steel or, in this case, plastic.
Yeah.
I mean, these look like greenhouses. I can only imagine sleeping in a plastic-skinned pole barn in the New Mexico desert would be like sleeping in a fucking oven.
Oh my God, that's gotta be.
But
Look
this
at
is
that
insane.
place.
And sorry,
I
you
thought
know,
that was police.
No, that
for a second there, I thought from over here it looked like police were draping stuff over.
no,
over
that is
over
a
the place.
pole barn, and there's
I
they
see
even have
it now.
pallets on top to keep the wind from blowing it down.
Oh man,
This place is a dump.
complete Tweakerville, man. Is what it looks like to me.
But let's just go ahead and release them.
That's BS, man. In my opinion, I don't understand. 10 days? That 10 days? Really?
And sorry
10
for the
days.
language and sorry for the anger, but I assume most of you who
That
are
gets you
watching
going.
this live, and those of you who downloaded podcasts, you're smart enough not to place around your children,
Yeah.
because we do talk about adult content. We do sometimes use true life conversational cuss words.
No.
We don't sit here and drop MF for every third word.
No.
But when we're passionate about something and we're having real conversation, real world, just like you and your wife do, and you and anybody else, cuss words do come
it
up.
does happen.
But we're talking about a compound
That is so.
in the United States where they were training kids.
How many did they say? How many children they removed from that place? Do you know?
Let me look.
Because you said there's one child dead, right?
Yeah, 3-year-old.
A 3-year-old.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? Now, how many adults did they pull out of that place?
5 dickheads.
5.
Yep.
Oh man, and all 5 are released on their own, under their own recognizance, to go back to the. I guess they.
Well, 2 of them I think were brought back on charges, or at least one of them was for the death of the child and the remains.
And they're legal in the United States, from what?
No one ever touches on that stuff.
Yeah, I just want for sure.
To be honest with you, I think they may have been converted. I'm not sure.
Okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? Took the.
And no, I'm not attacking Muslims.
No.
I'm attacking these 5 assholes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had an epiphany about 2 years ago. Yes, I am a Second Amendment guy. Yes, I own firearms. But I realized something, because I was guilty of this after 9/11 too. After 9/11 and after the attacks,
Mm-hmm.
we all kind of went out against the Muslims.
Well, absolutely.
Every time there was a terrorist attack, it was GD Muslims.
Yeah.
And every time some poor Muslim was on the news trying to say, hey, these guys don't represent us.
Yeah.
This is an extreme branch of our religion.
Yeah.
Don't pin their nonsense on us.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we're all kind of cynical, like, yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But now I know how they feel. Because every time some asshole goes out there and shoots innocent people, and you get on Facebook,
Yeah.
and it's, oh, if you believe in firearms, you're the devil. You don't appreciate human life. And people start attacking you personally for something some other dickhead did. And so I kind of have this theory that now after every school shooting or every mass shooting, I almost feel like a Muslim did after 9/11. because you have some asshole
They're trolling,
that
man.
people are
Absolutely.
trying to group you in with. It's like, no, don't group me with them.
Yeah.
Just like that poor Muslim who's on the news saying, hey, don't group us in with those assholes. Those
Yeah.
are extremists. Those are people who, yes, they claim our religion, but they have nothing to do with us. And it's insane. But just the fact that you're going to let these guys go.
It's
been 12 days.
It's mind-boggling to me, man, that in a situation such as this, where you have a training camp specifically kind of built, these people are extreme training children for homegrown terrorist attacks here in the United States of America. They've got a dead body on the property, a child of that 3-year-old. There's a dead 3-year-old on the property, and yet they only take them out of their home, and within 10 days, 10 days, if they haven't collected all their evidence, and I understand it's a large property and there's probably a lot to.
Well, and once again, this is not your quote unquote standard.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not your standard.
You have so much evidence, and you got so many people involved.
Crime, man, by any means. This is a serious issue, man. They need to have some sort of law there where they can hold these people longer than 10 days. But that's New Mexico law, I guess. Within 10 days, if we don't have enough evidence against you, we got to release you.
Well, why doesn't the federal government get involved and say, okay, fine, New Mexico, you can drop your charges, but we're going to bring them up on domestic terrorist charges?
Yeah, how did that not happen? And why is this not in the news more than it is right now, man? This is, it hit a couple, like 3 weeks ago, and then it just kind of went.
I can't find it. I saw a map today, and it may very well have been fake news or made up.
Yeah.
But I saw a map today that showed, I think, 8 to 10 states, and including Florida, including Tampa, and outside of Miami, where basically the CIA, FBI said there are terrorist training camps, and we can't do a goddamn thing about it.
Yeah, I've heard about that, man.
Hello. Waterman D-Train show. What's up? Who's this?
It's Bleezy.
Who?
Jay Bleezy.
Hey, man, what's up?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
You what?
How you doing, Blaze? You're on the Waterman D-Train show, man. How you doing, buddy?
No, I'm doing good. Thanks, man. Thanks. I'm glad to be here. What's going on, guys?
Just talking about New Mexico and how if you want to create a training compound and abuse children and train them to kill other children, just try to hide your evidence well enough so that it can't be found within 10 days and all charges will be dropped.
Yeah, you'll be let go, man. New Mexico, what a beautiful state, huh?
So what's going on with you on this lovely Saturday night?
That was some pretty gnarly news to start with, huh?
No, I'm just chilling, man. I'm chilling, man. I was trying to log y'all on to Facebook. I couldn't get on there. I couldn't see y'all on there.
We're on. We got a handful of people watching right now. Yeah, we're going.
Oh, that's weird.
No, that's cool, man. It's probably on my end.
Well, Bleezy, man, I'm friends with you on Instagram and as well as Facebook, which I'm no longer allowed on. You're like a master barbecuer. Can I say that about you? Because
bro.
You know what I'm
from
saying?
Memphis, man. You know how we do up there, man. You know how we roll.
No, right on, man. Exactly. So, what would you say would be the most popular, grill item, you think? Burgers and hot dogs. I mean, do people do ribs more, you think? You there?
You're saying what's the most popular?
Yeah, for like this weekend here. Coming up this weekend. Obviously, it's
okay, because it's Labor Day.
Yeah, Labor Day.
Memphis, it's all about the baby backs, man. It's all about the baby back ribs and a pork shoulder.
Nice.
That's how we like it, man. You won't find too many places serving spare ribs around Memphis, but if you do, it's not really their focus, man.
Tennessee
it's not their.
Absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to live in Tennessee if I had the ability to.
That's where you're originally from, right, Bleezy?
Yeah. No, I'm from Memphis.
Yeah, so
yeah,
say
I'm born and raised. Born and raised.
How long you been down here in South Florida?
I've been down here since 2001.
Oh, very good.
2001.
About the same time I got here. When did you get here?
When
did you get here, D-Train?
6 months before Hurricane Charlie came and kicked all of our asses.
What year is that?
04, 03 or 4.
Okay, so we're all generally in that 3-year window there.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I've found on barbecuing is there's a different cut of beef between East Coast and West Coast. And being from California, man, there's a real popular cut out there. They even have restaurant chains named after this cut of meat, and it's called tri-tip. And
Tri-tip.
tri-tip. Now, when you go here locally and ask for tri-tip at the grocery store, because they don't carry that kind of cut of beef here, when you go and ask for it, typically what they hand you is these little chunks. They call them like tri-tip pieces or something. And I'm like, no, I want the whole piece. Because I like to cut that fat right off the top of the piece of the meat, and then you lay that on there and let it kind of just gristle in with the meat as you're queuing it, Bro,
you're right, bro. You're right. You know what? My mom lives in Houston now, and I was up there recently, and we got some barbecue, and like there, it's a different flavor,
Mm-hmm.
In Texas, it's more about the brisket.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about almost like the Tex-Mex. They got the tamales and everything. And so, but no, you're right, man. You're right. It varies, man. It really does vary. It's a good mix, no matter where you're from.
Yeah, true that. And what's really cool is there's only a couple of places, local grocery stores that I go to, and there's one here in the Cape where I've actually found an actual tri-tip. And, they actually ordered them for me. It took them a couple weeks, but they finally got them in, man. And I was buying them there for like every week for quite a while, and just doing some different seasonings I hadn't done in a while. And, but man, God, I'd love to have one of those. What are you queuing this weekend? Anything good? What do you got planned?
Man, I'm chilling, man.
No queuing?
Straight chilling.
Yeah, right on. I hear you.
Straight chilling. I have no idea what I'm doing. I might go fishing tomorrow, man. I really don't know.
There you go.
What would you go fishing for?
Man, me and my buddy went out to Matt Lachey.
No, I mean, what type of fish?
Weekend.
You going for?
We go for trout. We go for trout, redfish, snook, whatever's biting, man. I just like getting out there having a good time.
Right on, man. How's that tide been? That with the algae and all that. Is that messing with you?
You know what, man? We went out there. It was either last week or week before. I tweeted about it.
Yeah.
But man, the water was beautiful, man. There was no red tide. We were in Matt Lachey, just north of the bridge.
Yeah, I know where you're
at. And it was beautiful, man. We caught quite a few trout and ladyfish.
That's cool,
I had a good time.
Oh yeah.
Out underneath the drawbridge.
Yeah. We were just north of the drawbridge.
I was going to say, the only thing I ever catch out there is catfish. You can pull catfish in by the tonnage underneath that damn thing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We actually fished that bridge on our way back. We didn't catch anything.
Yeah.
We're trying to catch snook.
I've been out there at night. I've been pretty.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to give y'all a shout out, man. I'm a big fan of the show, man.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Podcast.
Spread the word.
I'm an OG. Hey, I'm an OG 5.
Nice.
Sure.
Love it.
Brother.
Well, if you have
Appreciate
a chance,
it,
check out the T-shirt and rep it proud.
Always.
D-410.com.
Sure.
Pick up your shirt. Thanks for being an OG5.
Thanks,
have a great
man.
week and have a good holiday and
stay
safe.
All right, man.
Later,
y'all
bro.
have a good Labor Day weekend, man.
You too, man.
Peace.
Dave,
What do we got, bro?
your word of the day.
Oh, word of the day.
Self-improvement segment.
Come on, man.
Your
Hey, I haven't
vocabulary
used any of
boost.
my crutches, really.
No, you haven't, which I'm disappointed because I've been waiting to shoot you again.
No, we're not going to. That's
a crutch killer. And you
No.
haven't used a crutch word, so I haven't pulled out the crutch killer.
You know what I think happened is when I lost it on yesterday's program.
Boy, did you.
Okay. I was okay. I'm so. All right, let's go with the word because I don't want to get myself into that mode. But when I got a lot of stuff out of me,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel good.
Your voice cracked. You were.
Oh, I wish
the podcast was up. I'd play it for
I'm
everybody.
tired of it, man. I just got burnt. I'm like, not today, man. Please.
The word of the day is
All right.
reconciliation.
Reconciliation. All right, mending old wounds, mending fences, right?
Getting two things to correspond.
Okay, so
In this sense, reconciliation implies fixing what was wrong to get two things to correspond. The Senate healthcare bill is intended to repeal, replace, and to fix what has become to be known as Obamacare. This is just the definition on this website.
What the? All right, let me make a note of that. Reconciliation. Huh?
Yep.
All right.
So that is your vocabulary.
So
word
I
of the
gotta
day.
reconciliate. I gotta reconciliate a lot of things, man.
Yeah.
That's the word, really, man. Dude, there's so much that I need to repair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have literally not only hurt myself internally and physically with the amount of let's say brain cells and partying I've done.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, body all over, injuries between getting caught on fire, you name it, man. Yeah, there's a lot of things I need to go back and look at and take another look at and maybe make notes of them, write them down and say, hey, do I need to put time and energy into this? Do I need to mend this one, fix this one? Don't worry about that. Move on. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What do you think?
Sounds good.
What do you think I should do? Reconciliation.
So let me ask you this. Kind of earlier we were talking about the change in one's outlook on life and how their music tends to change.
Yeah, your taste changes, absolutely.
Now, I notice a lot of times you're kind of down in the dumps. A few weeks ago, your phrase of the day was that the universe was constantly shitting on you.
And it has been, man. But lately,
And I know a lot of times when I see you in the van, you're pulling up and you're listening to your hardcore music.
yeah, I listen to hardcore, man. Yeah,
Is that all
groove
you
metal.
listen to, or do you?
Yeah, groove metal, death metal, thrash metal. I'm listening to this new stuff called Renaissance metal.
Do you think any of that
Viking
has
metal.
any sort of impact on your thought process, your outlook on life?
No, not at all, because I separate the satanistic imagery and all the stuff, the dark images that are coming in with a light side, because I don't take any of that as reality.
I'm not saying that kind of
it's-
like
it's
people
just
say,
show.
oh, if you're playing video games, you're not. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
What I'm saying is when you constantly have
The beats, you're saying maybe.
just the vibe, whether it's anger, whether
Right.
it's negativity.
Right.
Perfect example, Tech Nine. You familiar with Tech Nine?
Yeah, absolutely.
First couple albums of his were kind of dark,
Yeah.
and he put out a great song called "The Last Sad Song."
Right.
The chorus went something along the lines, "Don't pray for me. Hopefully this will be the last sad song I have to see. Time will tell if you'll still stand here with me, but hopefully this is the last sad song I have to sing." Where he's basically singing about living that lifestyle, and the negativity and all the stuff was having a huge impact on his life, because it manifests itself in a way that negativity, even though he doesn't believe per se in what he's playing a role, playing a character. Kind of like how Tom Hanks said one of the hardest roles he ever had to play was in Save It Private Ryan, because you're pretending to be in that situation for 6 months on end,
Absolutely.
that it affects you emotionally. And so I guess what I'm kind of getting at is, have you ever thought maybe that still listen to your hardcore
Yeah,
shit,
I know.
but
what you're
maybe
saying.
mix up a little bit. Maybe one day turn on some more upbeat
Listen, man.
Cottonmouth Kings.
Listen,
or,
I listen to Beastie Boys and a lot of I'll listen to Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer, Bob Marley stuff. I do mix it up.
Well, what I'm getting to is maybe that because my buddy Nick, I've known him since 6th grade. He's listening now. He's on the live stream.
Right on.
And he could tell you,
Nick.
along with most of the people who knew me back in Ohio, that I was, because I used to listen to all that stuff all the time, and I had mood swings. I was a bit of a dick. I fought depression and all that, and I was very down and dark. My brother could tell you that too. But as I've gotten older, I've tried to, instead of battling my past, I realized I no longer want to be the pack mule for my demons.
Right.
And so I tried to, in my late 20s, early 30s, I tried to change my daily outlook to be somewhat more positive, even though in my 18s and 20s I would have laughed at that concept.
Right.
Because I do believe that if you try to take on a positive outlook,
Yeah, I
you
see what you're
manifest
saying.
your life, and you can manifest things to kind of happen.
More positive manner things will come to you.
And so if you're not sitting around saying, "Oh, the world's shitting on me," maybe I can wrap it up this way.
I know, I got you.
Maybe I can wrap it up this way. Try to make this easy, make it more easier to understand, get in my head. There's two type of people in the world. There is, this is going to suck people, and that suck people. And here's what I mean by that. Let's say you have something you got to do next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
whether it's moving,
Mhm.
dropping a transmission, whatever.
You know what's coming.
And you know it's coming. You know it's going to suck, right?
Mhm.
You can be two people. You can be that guy who says, man, I don't want to do this. It's going to suck.
Mhm.
And you can worry about it every day, and you can just sit there and say, God damn, this is going to suck. No, I do not want to do this task.
No way.
And so now the thing that you have to do on Wednesday that sucks, that you know is going to suck, not only does Wednesday suck, but Tuesday sucked, Monday before it sucked, Sunday before it sucked, and
Right,
Saturday, because you
right.
spent 4 days
Stewing.
dreading
Yeah.
and focusing on how horrible that activity is. And not only that, but the people you're sitting around talking about, man, this is going to suck. I don't want to do this.
Everybody's
Now their day's coming down because even though the thing you got to do is 4 days away, you're dreading it, man. God, this sucks. You're wringing your hand. I don't want to do it. Or you could be the guy that sucked guy, and that sucked guy is the guy who knows that Wednesday is going to be a job. You forget about it. You live your life.
Exactly. Get it done. And
you go through the
move on.
job. And once it's done, you said, "Wow, that sucked."
Yeah.
On to the next.
Yeah.
And so you can either be this is going to suck guy and complain about doing something you don't want to do for a week in advance, which then runs those 4 days and runs the days of everybody around you and basically brings everybody down. Or you can just try to move on and then just once you do it, take the hit as it comes. Once it's done, say, God damn, that sucked. I'm not glad that's over, and move on with your life.
Yeah.
And so now you're not dedicating 4 days prior to the task, destroying a week because of one day. You know, you can just kind of take that outlook on.
Yeah, I agree with you there. There is a negative vibe that can be surrounded you being this sucks guy compared to the negativity that you build and the energy you building up to coming up to that Wednesday.
Energy,
per se.
you just hit it exactly. Energy.
That energy you build through those 4 or 5 days,
Mhm.
whatever, leading up to that job on, let's say, that Wednesday, that dropping the transmission, and you're thinking about it, and every day you might be doing different jobs or whatever, but that one's coming, and you don't want to do it.
And here's the thing.
I agree with you there.
Once it's done,
but I'm a that suck kind of guy. I mean, granted, I look at things and I do psych myself out sometimes.
Mhm.
I try to rein that in and go, dude, let me just go do this and just be done with it.
well, and this is going to suck guy. Guess what? Once it's done on Wednesday, does he forget about it? No. He spends the next 5 days telling everybody how bad it sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
And pining over how bad it sucks and can't believe I had to do it. And once again, dropping the transmission is not, that was just an example. It could be going to court. It could be, whatever.
Absolutely, whatever you're
moving.
doing.
And
Yeah, you're sandblasting the
put
car.
whatever.
Who knows?
And so you begin to rely on that suckiness until the next big suck comes.
Yeah.
Because you need that suckiness because basically it encompasses your life and it becomes everything. And there are people out there, and you see this a lot with chicks who date a lot of shitty guys or vice versa, guys who date a lot of shitty girlfriends, where at a point they become reliant on that drama. And they need that drama in their life. And those are the people who are constantly, despite all the positive quotes they put on. Have you ever noticed that? The people whose lives are the most effed up are the ones who put all the most emotional,
That is interesting.
all the quotes on, bettering your life on their Facebook page. And they try to make their Facebook look like they have all their shit together, but those are some of the worst people in their lives.
Oh, man. Dude, life's good, huh? Right, we're kicking butt.
And so, yeah, it's like, don't be a this is going to suck guy. Be a that suck guy.
Yeah, I agree with you on
And
that.
just deal with it and move on, because if not, everything's going to suck.
Well, yeah, your day is going to be consumed with the whole thought process of stewing and energy negative vibe.
And I see
looking ahead.
I see my brother and I see Nick on here, and I know you were a big Thrasher magazine guy.
Absolutely.
And I just had a memory. Maybe this kind of seeded in my brain. Thrasher had a small run of a comic book called That Sucks Guy.
Yeah.
And it was everybody's out skating. Oh, that curb sucks.
Yeah,
that ramp sucks.
That
and
sucks.
he was that sucks. Everything to him sucked. He was fucking Debbie Downer. And no matter how cool the skate spot was, and why did it suck? Because he sucked.
Yeah,
he couldn't pull off the nose slide. He couldn't hit
nose
the
blunt.
50-50 Smith grind. He couldn't do the kick flip. He couldn't do the
manual or
handrail.
anything.
And so because he sucked, and he refused to realize he sucked, and to
Everything
pick
else
up the
sucked.
positive vibes off of his friends who were good,
Yeah.
it wasn't him that sucked. It's this sucked.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Man, that's
And
a
so-
crappy ramp, man.
Exactly.
It sucks.
So it's just you have to look at yourself
yeah.
and look at your life
Yeah.
and say, man,
You absolutely, because I would agree wholeheartedly with you there, man. Because there's that. There's just not thinking about it and then going, oh, Wednesday's here. You go do it and be like, oh man, you're sweating bullets. You're burned out.
For example, you're an AC guy.
Yeah.
And you're going to be out in the field more.
Yep.
Nothing sucks worse than being up in a fucking attic
Oh, you tell
at
me.
noon in
Dude,
Florida.
It's 140,
140 degrees. You got 30 years worth of dust, depending on how old the
Yep.
building is. You got
Bugs.
insulation, dead rats,
Spiders,
cockroaches.
rats, birds,
You're sweating
dead
your balls off. Now, I'm not an AC guy, but I've ran plenty of Cat 5 cable through freaking
Yeah, I know you have.
attics. And so,
It's-
if you're going to be this is going to suck guy,
you can't.
that's not the line of work for you.
You're not gonna make it at all.
Just like your mold guys who are trying to find mold up in attics and all that. I mean,
You're not.
there are
gonna,
plenty of jobs out there. If you're a this is going to suck guy,
yeah, that would.
you're
Yeah,
going to have a hard life.
oh, bro, you will not make it cutting grass or something. This, no, you won't make it.
No.
You're not gonna make it, man.
So do yourself a favor, people. Don't be a this is going to suck guy. Be a
No.
that suck guy.
Yeah, I would agree. Yep,
I
be
mean,
a that sucks guy. Like, go do the job and be like, man, damn, that sucked.
You can be a this is going to suck guy when it comes to, oh man, I'm making this dinner. I never tried it before.
Yeah.
You're cutting your onion. This is going to suck.
Yeah, you can down
cutting,
yourself a little
you're
bit.
cutting your garlic. This is going to suck. And so when the dinner comes and everybody else is like, hey, this is good. Nah, it's not that great. Because
Yeah.
you've just spent the last 2 hours while you're preparing this meal convincing yourself it's going to suck.
And then
And
everybody
everybody else
thinks
says
it's
great and you're not happy with it
you're just
because
going,
you've already convinced yourself that it's going to suck.
yeah, I just don't think it's gonna be that good. I'm just pre-warning you. If you don't like it, you don't have to eat it.
No, just
You know?
follow the recipe.
Exactly.
3,800 people on Pinterest said it's great.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you
Stick
followed
to
the
the
recipe.
recipe.
Man. You did everything right. It
And
looks
see,
good.
maybe it did suck. Maybe
Maybe,
you don't.
it did suck. Exactly.
Maybe you don't like cilantro laced tacos.
No,
I personally
no.
love a good cilantro.
No.
By the
Some
way,
people
the taco joint down here, the one I posted.
don't. Is that where you were at? I was wondering where you were
They
at.
have your tripe down there, by the way.
Do
But,
they?
dude, they got great little tacos that are just steak and cilantro and onion for like 99 cents, man. So they got your
Yeah.
name all over them down there.
The one right down here, right?
Yeah, the one next to the Wally
Yeah,
Roll.
yeah,
the
right
one I
there.
posted the picture on Instagram.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
try to change up your environment a little bit.
Yeah. I would agree.
Change up your. There's times where you'll have a bad Friday, and you'll let that carry over here on Saturday, and that's good for the show because it's therapeutic for you and it's ranting. But that's a long 12 hours between then and now, man.
Oh, bro, I can fall off a mountain.
And I've seen you fall off. I've seen
I
you
know
down
you
the
have.
dumps. I mean, we've had go back and listen to the first few episodes
No.
here, and there were some times you were down in the dumps.
Dude, I was bad. I was in a very dark
And like
spot. Like when I get told sometimes, hey, this is coming up and you're going to do this. What?
Nick, my buddy Nick, I grew up with. He is a Stan and Haney streamer. He's an
Yeah.
Ohio listener. He wants to know, what about your foil tacos, Dave?
What about them, man? They're real, dude. I'm telling you.
I got the 401. Junior told me
I'm telling you,
your
man.
foil tacos are nothing more than a quesadilla. They are cheap. It's a tortilla with nothing but cheese.
Yeah,
There's no chicken.
I swear it's just it's like a
tortilla
pencil,
and cheese.
like a pencil thin of meat. I'm not joking you, man. It's like a pencil thin or pin thin of meat.
But
and then like
why
a
would
thin
they
cheese.
put them in foil? Foil is more
I
expensive than the
don't
paper
know
wrap.
why they put them in foil, man, but they do, and I'm telling you, they got them at that taco place.
Well, if you actually had 4G on your phone, I would suggest going down to Taco Bell and proving the world wrong, but you can't because you don't have 4G.
No,
on your
I don't
phone.
want. Well, dude, you know what? I don't want to be connected like I was, man. I try to see, like, when I'm out and about and I don't have anything, bro, I focus on other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, I'm going to want to, have it plugged in, playing music, whatever's going on, or post something, or if I'm stopped somewhere, I'll post something. It kind of gives me that little bit of a break that I need during the day, at work. I've got, service at work, at the house. That's really all I needed. Hey, I'm not out of touch for very long. I'll be out of touch for like 30
My brother
minutes
just
anyway.
pointed out via the Facebook live stream that the "I'm here for a paycheck" guy is a very close cousin to "This is gonna suck" guy.
Oh yeah, I'm here for a paycheck. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just here for a paycheck.
that makes for a long day. And
It does.
And the
man.
irony to the "I'm here for a paycheck" guy is he's never going to get to "I'm collecting a salary" guy because
No.
"I'm here for a paycheck" guy is never going to volunteer, will never put in the extra effort, will never put in the extra work that is required to get into a position in life where you collect a salary.
No.
So if I'm here for a paycheck guy, you will never be I make salary guy.
And you're right, it makes for a very long day.
And not only
if
for
you're
you,
into that, if you're in that mode.
And by the way, if you're an I'm here for the paycheck guy, everybody on the job site knows that.
You damn
and
right.
you're going to be the I'm here with the broom guy, or I'm here, cleaning up the job site guy,
Yep.
because they're going to give you the crappy jobs because they don't want to work side by side with you because your work ethic sucks. You're a hack.
Gonna be the,
Whenever you try to lay up drywall, your mud work sucks.
Yep.
Whenever you try to wire up something, you don't use your wire nuts properly, and you almost burn the effing place down. And so if I'm here to collect a paycheck guy, your job is going to suck because they're going to give you the horrible jobs that you can't F up.
Yeah, you're gonna have the dirty work, man. You're gonna have the absolute, dirty work of that job, whatever you're doing, man. We had a guy recently working with us in the air conditioning business, new hire, and he was kind of that guy.
Yeah.
And he was just, it's like, dude, we're sweating bullets,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just standing there.
No,
And it got to a point where we didn't even care anymore.
Yeah.
Because we're moving and getting stuff done so fast that it's just a body standing there, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, whatever, bro. This is how it's done. Kind of trying to help him out. It didn't.
Now, if you're a 19-year-old, I'm
Register,
here
man.
for a paycheck guy. I kind of get that. You're fresh out of high school.
I get that.
You're a little punk. You're here.
Yeah.
You got the after rule mentality. But if you're a 40-year-old, I'm here for a paycheck guy.
You're cooked.
You're also clocking out to get me a 12-pack guy because
Oh, yeah.
your life is going to be rough. And
Yeah.
the only way you're going to be able to deal with it is to get drunk before you even go home.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be partying hard, man. There ain't no doubt. There ain't no doubt.
So find some positivity. I'm not
Yeah.
saying listen to Barney albums. I'm just saying try to.
You're talking. Okay, now we're going back to.
We're talking about manifestation.
Yeah.
We're talking about, like you said, energy and vibes.
Yeah. I agree with you.
When you look at the negative of everything, which is easy to do.
Oh
It's-
yeah.
It's one.
You can fall down that rabbit hole any day of the
And
week,
your life
man.
is not going to get better. Life
No.
is short, but it's way too long to focus on all the negative shit in the world.
Look, here's one of the things that just like Mark was saying yesterday to me. He goes, it's really interesting because, I spend 90% of my time pretty much alone,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so do I.
I'm pretty much alone 90% of the time. 10% of my time is spent with seeing the boys on Friday, seeing you on Saturday. Possibly, let's say we all do something on a Sunday, if that ever kind of happens here and there, and then otherwise back at work. And it's not that I'm not associating with people at work. I just tend to rein it in, and kind of rein it in a little bit, and just do my normal job, and try not to be out of control or anything.
Yep.
And I still get looked at weird though.
Well, that's because you're Dave.
And that's a lot of people.
But we're being positive.
But-
I don't
but-
want to go
but-
on a negative.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like what Mark was saying yesterday, is that I'm there to see my buddies and let let loose and just visit with friends,
Mhm.
and that's a therapy for me.
Yeah.
For me, especially because I'm a very what do they call it? Attentive or not an attention-seeking person, just a person that likes to be around people.
Yep.
And I've been that person at one point where I couldn't even go anywhere unless it was like, come on, man, somebody's got to. I've always had to have somebody in the fold.
Sure.
Going places and doing things, and even if it's just going to the grocery store, it's like whoever, my brother, I don't care, somebody, anybody.
Because you don't want to be alone with
Because
yourself.
I just didn't want to be by myself,
Yeah.
I wanted to have.
You don't want to be alone with your thoughts.
Yeah, because bro, God knows, man, I drive down the road and who knows, you know, I would end up in a bad place doing bad things real quick, and it just boom, it just happens, man. My brain goes, everything will be good, and then I'll see something, and then snap, there I go. But yeah, you're right. My music, I think in a way, I don't always listen to heavy metal. I do mostly when I'm headed to the show. I don't know why.
Well, and then you show up in a mindset, you're all pissed off and you're all defensive.
Well,
Maybe we should do a experiment.
all
Maybe
right.
next Friday you should drive to work listening to Sublime.
All right,
Drive to the studio listening to Sublime. It's still in your wheelhouse. It's still West Coast.
Yeah, you're right.
And let's just see how it goes. But we're going to leave the show on a positive note.
Yeah, let's. All right.
We're long into it. And
Are we?
for you Facebook listeners, if you're just now tuning in and you didn't hear the beginning of the show, I started the show off with a 1.5-minute interview, just a preview, if you will, that I did with last Sunday with Morgan Moose Wright of American Ninja Warrior fame. He's been on American Ninja Warrior 3 times. He didn't make it past the Florida City Finals this year because he didn't make it past. You want to talk about positive? That is a great episode. That is going to be that's going to be part 1 of this week's podcast. So if you want to hear that full interview, because it's pretty long, that'll be part 1 of this week's episode, and then what you've been watching now will be part 2 of this week's episode. So thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. We're going to go on a positive note.
Real quick, man, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, D-Train, how do they find you?
Sure. As you all know, because you're watching us now, you can find us on Facebook at Waterman and D-Train Show. Because I can't spell, or because I was stupid when I signed it up, the D and the word and the D and D-Train are all one word. So it's at Waterman, ANDTRAIN Show on Facebook. I have my Twitter name changed a little bit. Just search Donovan410. That's at Donovan410. That is a screen name I've had on the internet since 1997. My name will still show up as D-Train, but the at Donovan410. And same with my Instagram. It is now at DTrain410.
Beautiful.
Check that out. So it's at DTrain410. You can find me on Instagram.
Well, you got a lot of social accounts to take care of there, pal.
Oh, that's not even half of it. I got an at Computers Facebook page. I got an at Computers Twitter page.
I'll tell you, for me, the only thing I'm allowed on is Instagram, bro. So it's pretty easy to find me, man.
But that's the easiest way to find us is just go to d-410.com. That'll connect you to everything. If you are a Facebook live streamer but you want to listen to us easily while driving in your car at work, the easiest way to find us is you can download our podcast directly from d-410.com. You can download us and synchronize us to your iPhones via iTunes.
Beautiful.
Or if you're a Stitcher if you're a Stitcher iTunes, wow, I'm completely screwed up. If you're a Stitcher podcast listener, there you go, ladies and gentlemen, search for I was going to go to WTSP, which is the What's the Scuttlebutt podcast. Just search for the Waterman and D-Train Show, or WNDS is the abbreviation. You can find us there. And thanks so much for everybody for our continued live stream. Last week, we were talking about how we were concerned that our viewership was going to crash because the video prior to that, the audio sucked. I couldn't have been wrong.
Really?
Fuck, I can't talk. I couldn't have been more wrong.
We're tired.
We only lost roughly about 200 viewers.
Oh, that ain't bad.
So we went from, I think, 1,200 to roughly about 900 for the following show.
Yeah.
So thanks for continuing to tune in. I know a lot of you guys can't listen live because it's Saturday after all. Why would you want to listen to this train wreck when you can be out drinking? But apparently a lot of you guys are tuning in throughout the week, so continue doing that. Thanks so much.
Everybody.
D-410.com if you're OG5 or you're new to the show and you want to pick up a Waterman and D-Train Show t-shirt with the new logo that pisses everybody off because I put the word show in between our names so people think it's the Waterman Show and D-Train. Pick that up there. We're going to wrap it up. Dave, take it away because I talked too much and I'm already rambling on.
Feeling good, man. Hey, thanks again. Yeah, you're right, man. You know what? Only losing 200 listeners or whatever, that's not too bad, man. Viewers, not bad at all, man. Once again, thanks everybody for tuning in to the Waterman and D-Train Show. And everybody out there in the download land, Facebook land, be sure to give us a like, send us a question. We always like to take questions, and you can reach us if you want to leave a message anytime during the week at 727-300-2926. That's the Waterman and D-Train Show, 727-300-2926. Give us a call, leave us a message. We'll play it on air for you. All right, man. Rock and roll, everybody. Have a good weekend.
She like it rock. She like it what? In Royal Camino. Whoa! Solid like the rod in the El Camino. Solid like the rod in the El Camino. Solid like the rod in my El Camino. Solid like the rod in my El Camino. Your self-esteem is really low. It's time to ride